Hello everybody! Tonight we're going to have blackened tilapia, but we're going to blacken it in the oven. We're not going to fry it in a pan or anything like that. We're going to have some rice and some steamed broccoli, and I'm also probably just going to do a little side salad with some tomato or something because that sounds really good to me tonight. So let's go ahead and look at our ingredients. Sorry, I'm itching my hand that I'm holding the phone with, so I'm probably like shaking all around. And hopefully we'll get I hope to get through the whole thing tonight. But let's go ahead and look at our ingredients. All right, so we're going to use, I'm using tilapia, and I'm using frozen tilapia. I'm sure people are saying, ew, gross, you should always use fresh fish or whatever. I, in general, hate fish. I love shrimp, but I hate fish. But I've discovered that I like tilapia, and I don't know if it's because it's so thin and I'm putting so much seasoning on it or what, because I use this for fish tacos, that recipe my friend makes. I use that, but I just buy this, and it's in the freezer section, and they're all individually wrapped, and you can either take it out of the freezer 24 hours and put it in your fridge so it can go ahead and thaw out, or you can do a fast method, which we'll do in just a second. We're going to do that. We're going to use that. We're going to use a combination of spices that I will tell you later. I didn't need to use the whole thing last time, so I just got some spices left over. We're going to have olive oil. We're going to use rice, broccoli, and then for my salad, I'm probably going to use tomato, avocado, and basil. This is my little new basil plant. I'm so excited until I can have one in the garden. I'm going to try to keep one in the kitchen. And so I love basil and tomato, salt, pepper, olive oil. I think it's so good. Then I'm going to make a little tartar sauce. Like I said, I'm not a big fish person, so this is just the sauce that came with the recipe that I originally got. So if you have one that you like more, go ahead and do that. But for that, I'm going to use mayonnaise, lemon juice. I wish I had a fresh lemon because I would probably just squeeze that over instead of using the tartar sauce, but I do not. I'm going to use some onion powder and then some sweet relish that I make every summer. All right, so let's get you turned around. Plug you in. Okay, it says that I have 2 people watching, but it hasn't come up who those 2 people are, so that's kind of interesting to me. All right, so to get started with this, our fish is going to actually cook up really quick, but my fish is still slightly frozen. For the most part, it's defrosted. Your quick method, if you forgot to take it out the night before, or you weren't sure that this is what you were going to have for dinner until 10 minutes ago, you can take these out of the freezer. It says to take them out of the package, but I like to leave them in the package, and I just put cool water in here. So I'm going to put some cool water and let it soak in the cool water, and it just does a really quick defrosting. And we're going to put those to the side. Okay, now, and I am doing 1 fillet per person because these, like I said, are really thin. They're probably less than 3 ounces. So you could do 1 for each person, or if you got a thicker cut, you could, cut them in half, or maybe you half it for your kids, whatever. But go ahead and get what would be appropriate for your family. My rice is probably going to be the thing that takes the longest for this meal, and so I'm going to put some rice in my rice cooker. And if you were trying to do it all fast, you could do instant rice. If you wanted to do it a little bit healthier, you could do brown rice. And Thrive, if you're interested, also does instant brown rice. So, or you can go to your grocery store and get instant brown rice. Whatever works for you guys. So what I'm doing right now, I showed this in a video before, but I'll show you again. I put white water in my rice cooker, and I'm just kind of smoothing it all around. And it helps get some of the starch off, and it makes your rice a little bit stickier. And we like sticky rice, so I do that about 3 times. I drain off the water, and I put some more water in, go around with my fingers, drain off the water. You can do this without a rice cooker if you are just going to do rice in a pot on your stovetop. You just want to have equal portions, and you can do the same thing. And once your rice comes to a boil, then you just put a lid on it and let it cook for about 20 minutes. If you're doing it on your stovetop and not in a rice cooker. If you're doing it in a rice cooker, then I suggest you follow the instructions that came with the rice cooker. So we're going to go ahead and let that start since it will take the longest. Then we're going to go ahead and cut up our broccoli, because our broccoli is going to be the thing that takes the second longest for our dinner tonight. And if you don't want to do fresh broccoli, you can always do one of those steamable bags of frozen broccoli. That also tastes really good. And that could also, if you had instant rice, frozen broccoli, and then the tilapia, you could have dinner done super fast, really, really fast. If you were in a hurry, but you wanted a really healthy dinner, that you could have dinner done in probably like 15 minutes. 4 minutes for prep time of like getting your tilapia ready and letting your oven preheat, and then, you know, just, that's it, you know, super fast. Okay, so I'm going to chop on my broccoli. Do you guys ever use this part? Does anybody use this part? Several times I like cut it up and put it in a little baggie so that maybe during the winter I could make broccoli soup with it, but then I forget about it. and then it just, I go to clean out my freezer and I'm like, oh yeah, this is all freezer burn now. I don't think I'm going to use it. I want to not waste it. Like, I put it in my compost pile now, but I just didn't know if any of you guys ever used the big stalk part of the broccoli. Just curious. Leave me a comment. Even if you don't watch live and you have an answer, I do go back and look at the comments. So go ahead and leave me a comment. Now, I have broccoli in my garden that I started. Broccoli is not one of those big bang for your buck kind of plants, but I just want to, I don't know, I just want to grow it. You only get a head, like maybe a head and a quarter for each plant, but I decided to do cold crops this year and to plant early, and so we'll see what happens. I'm starting it from seed, which is probably a huge mistake. I should probably just go get a plant and put a plant in there, because broccoli seems to take forever to grow, at least for me. I don't know. Okay, so once I get my broccoli, I'm also using a steamer for this. If you don't have a steamer, you can use a pot with a colander and a lid, and you can steam it that way, or if you have a steam basket, you can steam it that way. Whatever works for you. Put that to the side. Okay, I've also preheated my oven to 425 degrees. So let me get all these little broccoli pieces off. I also like roasted broccoli. I think it's really good with lots of salt. I'm a little bit of a salt fiend. I try to cut my broccoli not too big so that they cook pretty even. Alright, almost done. I have a full basket. I never think to just do half of it, because the half of this bunch just doesn't seem like, our whole family likes broccoli, so it doesn't seem like it's enough. But if you were just cooking for one, you could get like 3 meals out of this. Okay. So I'm going to put this in my steamer, and I'm going to steam it for about 15, 16 minutes. About the crunchiness that we prefer. I do have a lot of broccoli in there, so it makes me a little nervous. Okay, so let's go ahead. I think we could probably move this out of the way. Let's move all our little broccoli bits to the side for right now while we work with our fish. Get paper towel here. My area's all messy, guys. I can't handle it. All right. So, what you're going to do for your fish is you're going to take a cookie sheet. I prefer to use one with a lip. And you're going to put foil on it. Then you're going to take your olive oil. And you're going to put like 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Now I'm going to drizzle that on there. So that's 1. 2. I need to knock it off both of you right now. Do you understand? We'll turn it off and go to your rooms. Okay? Okay, after you get that on your pan, you're going to go ahead and use like a brush, like a pastry brush, I guess you call it. You're just going to kind of brush it on the pan so it's evenly coated. Okay. There we go. So we're not frying this, but we want to give it like an oily base to kind of cook really good on. And I'm pretty sure I told you guys that I preheated my oven to 425, but I just want to mention again in case I didn't. All right, so now we're going to take our tilapia, and it's all nice and soft and wiggly because it's defrosted. That didn't take very long because, like I said, it's so thin. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drain the water, and I'm going to get a knife and open these packages. All right. So I'm just going to open my package. And I'm going to go ahead and put this on my... Actually, I'm going to get a paper towel and pat it dry a little bit. No. My daughter's mad at me right now. Sorry. So I pat it dry, and then I'm going to put it on my pan. And cut the next one open, and we're just going to keep doing that process. And what I did with the spices is I just took a bowl and I mixed my spices. So I'm going to tell you what that is while I'm patting this dry. So in the bowl, I put 2.5 tablespoons of paprika, 1 teaspoon of salt, between 1/8 and 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 tablespoon of onion powder, 1 tablespoon of black pepper, teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 1 teaspoon of thyme, and 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder. And I just put it all in a bowl and like mixed it up really good. Actually, I didn't put it in a bowl. I probably put it in that baggie that you saw. And then I just mixed it up really well. Okay, so this is my last little tilapia. Put that down. And then what you're going to do is you're just going to take and you're going to rub your seasoning on your fish. And I'm going to rub it on one side and then turn it over and rub it on the other side. I'm just going to sprinkle some. Now, how much you might say, like, how much are you putting on? Well, it depends. Do you want it really, really spiced up, or do you want a light coating? That's going to be up to you, so you'll have to decide which you would prefer. I would say I'm putting on somewhere between 1/2 teaspoon to a full teaspoon on each one. And after I sprinkle it on, then I'm going to go back and kind of just pat it down so it kind of hopefully adheres a little bit to my fish, like you would a rub. Like you kind of rub in a rub. So we're rubbing in the rub. And then I'm going to flip them over and do the same thing on the other side. So this side got all nice and oily. So I'm going to flip them all over. Alright. And I don't want to put my oily, fishy hand in there, so I'm going to get my other hand now. Do the other side. So you kind of want to have either lemon juice or tartar sauce to go with this, just to like cut down a little bit on the spice, or at least I do. So, go ahead. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and rub in this one as well. I'm going to put my spices to the side. Go ahead and do that. And what we're going to do after that, I'm going to rinse my hands off, but we're going to go ahead and give it a spray with some Pam or some kind of cooking spray. So hopefully, like, because we have it such a high temperature at 425, so that with the oil and then the seasoning and then another light coating of cooking spray, it's going to hopefully give it a nice crust kind of consistency. All right, and then we're going to put this in the oven. Okay, so while that is in the oven, let's go ahead and get our tartar sauce put together. And I'm going to flip that about, we'll flip that halfway, about 5 minutes, so it can kind of cook evenly on each side. So I'm going to get us a bowl. And for our tartar sauce, we're going to go ahead and do 1/3 cup of mayonnaise. I like to use my Pamper Chef thing for mayonnaise. It's so much easier to get out. And I tend to like, this is a generic brand, but if I have my choice, I like Hellmann's. Hellmann's is my favorite. This generic brand I can put up with, so when Hellmann's isn't on sale, this is what I have in my pantry. But back west, Hellmann's is known as Best Foods. It's one of the few things that I am brand loyal on is mayonnaise, unless it's not, like I don't have a coupon and it's not on sale, then it's like $4. So I'm so cheap that this one, I finally got to the point where I'm like, oh, I can put up with that if I can't get the Hellmann's. So that's why we have some of this sometimes on hand. And I've discovered that I like the canola oil. The canola oil, Hellmann's, is a little bit less fattening, and it still has the same great taste. So my canola oil, I guess, is supposed to be healthy for you. That I don't officially know. You could totally tell me I'm wrong. Okay, we're going to get 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. Put that in there. We're going to get 2 teaspoons of lemon juice. If you have fresh is better, but if you don't, it's good to have some lemon juice in a bottle on hand. You got to work with what you got. All I have a lemon tree, but right now I have no lemons on it. It's a very sad tale. I won't until this summer. There we go. And then we're going to put in a teaspoon of sweet relish. And I actually might put a little, just a smidge more than a teaspoon. My relish is chunky. It's not finely diced. So, see my relish? Ooh! This is one thing that my husband requests that I make every year, is relish from our garden, using our garden stuff. Don't show the camera because you might spill the juices on the floor. Beware. Okay, I'm going to put a little juice in there. All right. So sweet relish. Put that to the side. And then we're just going to mix that up, and I'm going to set it in the fridge until it's time to eat dinner, and then we can have that on the side. And that for me, because I don't have like a fresh lemon to squeeze over. Hi, Jen. Hey, Jen. Why don't I come over and make you dinner? For me, just helps to reduce a little bit of the spice of the tilapia because we put all the blackened seasonings on there. And that's it. That's our tartar sauce. That's all. Okay. So last thing that we're going to put together while everything is cooking, put that to the side, is just a little mini salad. So we're going to get a bowl out for that. We're going to go ahead. everything's coming together. I think it's my rice. My rice is always something that I gotta start so much sooner. Because that is what's gonna hold me up tonight. Everything else is gonna be ready at the same time. But my rice is what got me. Okay, I had lemon juice on my hands, so I already had to clean my hands off. Okay, so let's go ahead and dice up our tomato. And today, I think we'll do kind of big wedges. I don't know why I think tomato salads are so good. I like lettuce salads. I just don't do as many lettuce salads until later in the year. But this is so quick, and you can just put it together. I don't know. So easy, and I tend to have this stuff on hand, and I'm excited about my little basil plant. So what are you gonna do? All right. So I want to add right away the salt, so it can start kind of working with the tomato and working with its juices, I guess you would say. So I'm gonna put in about a half a teaspoon of salt. And we got 1 more minute before we need to flip over our tilapia. And we're going to put in some pepper. And I'm going to give that a little stir. Actually, I'm going to put in some pepper and some olive oil. Then we'll give it a little stir. Drizzle some olive oil in there. Maybe about a teaspoon. And you know, I think just to make it fresh and to kind of go with our whole thing, I think I'm going to put a little lemon juice in there too. Just like a quarter of a tea to half a tea. All right, and then let's go ahead and get ready. We're going to flip over our fish in just a second. And then we'll go ahead and cut up some of our basil. It's a little basil plant. So my husband and I went to go, ooh, that smells delicious. We went to go get some stuff, and I wanted to basil for a different recipe, and this plant was just like 80, 75 cents more than like a box of basil that was already dying and looking nasty. Okay, so I'm going to flip over my fish really quick. There we go. So we want to get crusted, blackened on both sides. You can already see it's looking really good. It's turned white, like cooked white, not tilapia white. We're going to put it back in. I think I'll do an extra minute since we took some time out. Here we go, 5 more minutes on that side, and our tilapia is done. Our broccoli is almost done steaming. If our rice could just hurry up, it's not going to be ready, people. The rice is not going to be ready. So sad. Okay, so when you're cutting your basil plant, you want to pick the big leaves to cut first. Don't cut your baby leaves. Cut your big leaves, and maybe, you know, kind of go around your plant so that your plant has equal opportunity of growing. I'm trying to do the biggest right now. Let's see, what else do we got on here? So like this leaf is a really big leaf. And then we have all these little baby leaves. So we're going to leave the baby leaves alone so that they can grow to be basil for another day. These are kind of medium leaves down here. Let me see if I have any more big. This is a pretty big one. We're going to cut that one. And I think that's good. For the size of salad that we're doing, I don't think we need much more. Let me just see. And I don't know why this is lopsided. I'm hoping that as I continue to let it grow in my kitchen. Oh, this is a really big leaf. That it will get some more leaves on this side. A trick for when you're in the garden, that if I only had 4 leaves, if I cut the first leaves, it like forces it more and more to grow. But this already has so much on here that I don't want to do that. So I might like at one point go ahead and come down to here and cut off this whole thing so it forces it more to grow more. My broccoli's done. Yay! Rice, you need to catch up. A trick when you do herbs is go ahead and put them together and then roll them up like a sleeping bag. That way they're easier to slice up. So just do this little itty bitty roll like a sleeping bag, and then slice it. You have these ribbons, these beautiful ribbons of basil. We're having blackened tilapia and rice and broccoli and a tomato salad. Okay, see, all those really pretty. And if that's too big, you can go and side chop it. If that's too big for you or your family, you can make it a little bit smaller. I think that is beautiful. So we're going to add that to our tomato salad. And I might actually, oh, that's what I was going to get. I was going to spoon so I can stir that. My daughter and I love avocado, so I might slice some avocado to put on top of our salad. My son and my husband likes avocado, but he's kind of allergic, so very simple salad. You could also add some Parmesan cheese, but I don't want Parmesan cheese tonight, I don't think, with our fish. If you want to go Greek with this, you could add olives and some feta cheese. If you want to go Italian, you could add ricotta, a little bit of ricotta cheese into that, or Parmesan cheese, or mozzarella, pieces of mozzarella would be really good. If you wanted to go Mexican, I probably wouldn't have done the basil. I'd do more of like cilantro and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and cut up my avocado so it's ready. As soon as my rice is ready, dinner will be done because fish is coming out in 2 minutes, but I feel like my rice is like still 6 minutes out, which makes me kind of sad. So all those spices that we put on the fish is all, you can smell it now, and it's all blending together really pretty and yummy like. All right, where is my, oh, there's my spoon. Okay. Just going to cut this up into some wedges. And cut this one up. Get the pit out. There we go. I could eat avocado with a spoon, just right out of the avocado shell. The only avocado I had that I didn't really care for was on my mission. Somebody once made me an avocado milkshake, and it was just a weird sensation to me to have avocado in a milkshake. I don't know if I would feel differently about it now. Okay, our tilapia is about to come out. Let's pull that out. That looks delicious. Yummy. Our rice is bubbling, so it's getting closer to being done. Our broccoli is all nice and done. Everything's smelling good. So you can see how fast that could be if you were wanting just a really quick meal, but fish is so healthy for you that you can do it really quick and have a healthy meal. You know, get yourself some instant brown rice. Get yourself some frozen broccoli. First thing you're going to do is you're going to preheat your oven and you're going to defrost your fish, and then go ahead and prepare your fish. I mean, you could probably have this meal done in 15 minutes, and that's a really quick thing to do for your family, and a healthy thing to do for your family. So my rice is starting to bubble, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be ready before 6 minutes is up. I'm so happy. Something else, like, you don't have to do broccoli. You could do asparagus with this. Some people like Brussels sprouts. I don't like Brussels sprouts, but there's a new recipe that I want to try. I'm hoping that they will taste good, so I'm going to give it a go. And I'm also trying to use my cast iron pans more, and it's something that you can do in a cast iron pan. So I'm waiting. I haven't decided what I'm going to pair it with yet, but you could do, like I said, broccoli. You could do asparagus on the side. Green beans would be good with this. You could do your Brussels sprouts. To me, they're like little cabbages, which I like cabbage, but I just don't know about the Brussels sprouts. So just really quick, if you don't have frozen, do canned green beans, you know, just do it up quick. Use what you have, and there's lots of healthy things that are out there that you can eat. I can't remember how much the frozen tilapia is. We only have tilapia about once a month. So a bag for my family of 4 lasts 2 or 3 months because we do this. And then another thing I do is I do fish tacos, and I don't do a fillet for each of us. So I cook it up with taco seasoning and then I flake it up. And so we just, a bag of frozen fish could last us for a long time. I don't know how long it would last for a bigger family, but for us it lasts a good amount of time. So it's a good thing to have in our freezer, in our meal plans. All right, let me go ahead and start dishing some things, and I'll be back. I gotta tell the kids to set the table. Hold on a second. Josh, come up and set the table. Alright, let's see. We need a slotted spoon. That one's good.
Is your video done?
No, I'm still recording.
Yay, chicken.
Fish.
Oh, fish.
So close.
I knew it was me at least.
That's good. Lots of green today with our meal.
I'm gonna get some.
Okay, kid. Send me, if you watch this later, post a picture of what you guys had for dinner. I like new ideas. I like trying new recipes. So send that to me so I can see. Holly, you do your part. You can do your part. Cool. Okay, rice, finish cooking. I would do a commercial for you, but I'm not that talented. No such luck. Finish cooking. It's steaming. I can see all the rice. It looks cooked. It's almost there. Get my kids' stuff ready while we're waiting. Dead air. Alright guys, I feel bad for making you wait. So, I will just post a picture of our plate in the comment section because my rice is still cooking. It's going to be done in like 2 minutes, but I feel bad for making you wait. So, we're just going to go with it. Thank you for stopping by. Hope you try this recipe sometime. I will also take a picture of it in my recipe book and post that under the comments so you can see like what all goes into the spices in case you didn't catch it when I was saying it. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.